the domination of Draka, the stranger. A land as apparently inscrutable and menacing from the outside, as seemingly harsh and unforgiving in its climate and its core. An enigmatic mystery shrouded in the velvet of a Gordian riddle. For whilst many have seen the wyvern fly, and hear of its tragic woes, few get to properly know it, and fewer still ascertain its origins. Would that these were the only plagues that beset our beloved land. But that was not enough. The stout bulwarks of our frontiers imploded. Conspiring assassins and conniving middlemen murdered any chance of revival. Foreign spies broke into our archives, seeking to have their fill in a world beset by treachery. Barbarians overwhelmed the lands, exacting tribute from those foolish enough to provide it, and of course, putting to the sword and the torch all who refused to their negotiations. In the span of one single generation, the majestic cities that dotted the land and adorned the skies with their spires collapsed, consumed by the flames of unruly anarchy. When we reached a new world, we sought our future with dignity and aplomb. The island we now call home would seem a paradise, and yet the darkness yet lurked, awaiting the call to strike. Wild savages bereft of soul and spirit preyed upon our families. Our faithful matrons deemed sows to be forever tainted for the degenerate filth. Our aspiring progeny greedily eyed as kindling for their sacrificial debt to unknown demons of undesirable name and undeserving praise. Our people, locked in the crucible, fended for their lives with none to lead. This could have been our end, or so we thought. A new champion arose. In a time of need, he rallied us, led our legions into the unknown Lifa Khan, and graced the foul wretches with the most meritorious mercy one could achieve in such pitiful conditions. Eternal subservience led back to our settlement in chains. Many unsound minds would decry this as tyranny, but to them I ask, what other choice might we have had? Resign ourselves to fate and be butchered on the shores? Fade into legend in our ashen homes back in the lands where we lived ere long? Or perhaps meld ourselves to cindered flesh on the remnants of excoriated ruin? Not a chance. Safety was costly in our new home. Indeed, some deemed it safer to move to fairer pastures. But for we happy few who remained, an epiphany was granted. Only harsh times make the stern as radiant as they are durable. The newly born Domination grew in her hard-won territory, properly binding our slaves to our free men, and carving our new standard in tribute of our past. New cities risen on the backs of the descendants who would have wielded spears and bows against us. In the midst of it, envious neighbours still would plot our demise. Our polity still in infancy, the Venalian Volkstadt sounded the drums of war. I was in my youth, called to the banners at once, and sent to the naval ridges whereupon their borders sat. The very same who led us to safety, now Emperor of Draka, autocrat and despot of the Dracontir of old and the Drakenses of new, led us to battle. Our allies collapsed. Noveria fled at the first sight of distress. The Caliphate followed suit, and both fled upon the gaping jaws of the lands of war-born Essos. upon whom the ire of the gods would fall shortly after. Draka, though, had another path in store. Beyond all trials and tribulations, not a single bullet grazed our shores. Whilst the same greed we witnessed in our homelands brought ruin anew to realms we just met, the hatchlings grew patient. We built our walls and tended to our isle, and just as she grew, so did her spires rise, and so did her walls grow stout. Once again, our people stand ready. Our might is far proven. Our cities may burn yet again, and our autocrat may yet perish, but the flames will rise again. Just as the wyvern once flew, so shall we ascend. Our enemies are many, our equals are none, and now that our past is laid bare to all, we ask, who will come with us and stand at our side?